Welcome to... Sorry, what's happened? I've frozen. My camera's buggered. Oh, bollocks. Welcome to Simon NoChaNoMa. And I'm just going to switch to... I'm going to switch to the other camera, if I can. Because it's not working. I don't know. My app. It's me apps, folks. Sorry. I don't know if you can hear. I'll tell you what. I'll put our guest on, and that'll. Here, you carry on. There we go. Look who it is,
guys. Here we go.
Carry on while I get my camera back.
While Simon's,
floundering.
Sussing out.
God, I'm sweating. I'm sweating as well. God.
Yes, he's sussing out his camera. It was working perfectly just beforehand.
It was. Yeah. God, I'm old. This camera picks up all my wrinkles.
Anyways, guys, we were just talking about these backstage there. Strong Zero, grab your bevy. Let's get ready because this is going to be interesting to say the least. Cheers.
Right, wait a minute. I have to put. Oh, my background's all right. I'm fairly pale in it. Hang on. Let's see if I can do something. But hello, everybody. Mirror my camera. No, why it's frozen? No, where's it gone? I've gone again. What happened? The whole thing is frozen. You've frozen. I've frozen. What's going on?
No, I'm not frozen. I'm still good.
Right.
Anyway, vids for your mom. Minus 198 is what they do. Is they freeze the lemon and then they crush it while it's frozen. So it's kind of like ice wine. And think of it as ice wine.
Huh, there we are. Look, I'm there. I'm very old, pale. Because it's very sunny outside. Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. Simon, no technology. Yes, exactly. For some reason, have I frozen again?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Oh, it's my computer. So ignore my computer. If I switch that off, I have to switch off numerous things on my computer. I don't know what switch that off. I've got too many tabs open, probably. Right.
Too many background applications?
Could be. I don't know what it is, but it's StreamYard is struggling. There I am. Right, let's have a look. I just need to adjust my picture because I don't like it.
Oh, you're fine. Stop sussing.
Camera. Here we go. Camera. Now where's it gone? It doesn't like it when I switch it to the camera. Oh, never mind. That'll do. Yeah. Okay. Right. I need a drink after all that. Welcome to Simon NoChaNoMa. It's
Cheers,
probably the crappiest start to a show that there's been for a long time. Those rabbits are wondering what the hell is going on. Right. Cheers. I'm having Paix Dieu. Which is I'm not quite sure, something God. Can somebody look up what Paix Dieu means in English?
Well, Père is father.
Paix.
No, that's a different spelling.
Yeah. I think peace God or something like that.
Vids, I want a lot of Chuhai. Well, man, get over here. Get over here. They're not expensive. We were discussing the
Let's
cost.
see. I'm going to do what you said and go to my brand and give you everybody some lo-fi play. There we go. Can you hear the lo-fi?
There we go. There we go. Yep.
I'm
Tunes
chilling
are
now.
on.
So, unlike some people, I don't edit after I've... So all the crap that you see at the start will continue forever on this show. There will be no pauses or interruptions. God, it's warm in here. Welcome to Simon NoChaNoMa. And welcome to the J-Vlog. All the way live from... in the misspelt... In the misspelt Nagasaki dialect, drinking evening, apparently. Kimberly! Is that the strongest string you've got? Kimberly, no. This is just a starters, Kimberly. This is 10.5% Belgian beer. But I do have, waiting in the wings, and its green screen is not showing it very well, is 14.5% Côte de Rhône. There we are. That's the later. Okay.
Okay, we're not... This is kind of going to be a little bit of a drinking party.
All right. Nomu.
Yes.
Cheapo sake. Yes.
The cheap sake. This is 2 liters.
God, 2 liters of cheap sake. Yes. This is a quality show.
Well, it's actually the brand Hatsuru it's a very reputable brand, but this cost me $11.
For 2 liters, that's reasonable for sake, I would say.
Yeah. I'm keeping it in the freezer because I like my sake cold.
I do too. I mean, I tried warm sake on that sake party show. It was interesting, but I mean, it's kind of like drinking spirits. Drinking spirits is, people put ice in spirits, for good reason. Because it's drinking spirits when they're warm. It's like, you feel like you're deliberately causing yourself to be drunk, whereas not just enjoying the experience.
Well, I don't know because here in Japan we call it when the sake has been warmed. We call it atsuken, like atsui. It's hot, right? Atsuken, and I do enjoy that in the wintertime.
Oh right, yeah. I mean, yes, like a hot toddy. Or Kimberly, or like your mulled wine. Kimberly says she read the white crane on the kanji on that. Does that?
Peepo's in the house.
Hello, Peppo.
Peppo?
Well, I call him Peppo. It could be Peepo, but I've always called him Peppo. I don't know why. He's never corrected me. So.
Hang on one sec here. I gotta check this white cream.
It's the Japanese equivalent of White Claw.
Because
he came out with a shop with a brown paper bag,
Yeah, Hatsuru is a very famous brand. Okay.
So hello to all in comments and all watching who are not commenting. Chuck, if you're there, Chuck's mum. Any of my Filipino friends, MMLSO, White Lightning. He's basically, yes. Lightning, Claw, and Crane. It's a conglomerate of cheap alcohol producers.
Yes. Well, I'll show you the brand labeling again. There it is.
Fascinating, this, isn't it? I can't read that. You can read that, Kimberly. I couldn't read that. Well, it has a white crane. Yes, it's a picture of a white crane. Yes, there we are. It's like, just to tell you what the kanji means is a picture.
Yes.
Are we just thinking of drinks we drunk? I don't know what you drank as a kid, alas, but no.
Really? I thought Alas was a kid.
Yes, compared to us, compared to you and I. She is
Yes,
only a slip of a girl.
Us dinosaurs.
Yes.
Okay,
Now then.
you had some questions.
I
Fire
had
the
some
first
questions
one.
like, who are you? Why are you here? And
No, I said fire the first one, not all three at once.
okay, right. Could you please introduce yourself? Who is the J Vlog? For those that don't know, like me.
My name is JP.
Mm-hmm.
It's JP is short for Jean-Pierre.
Mm-hmm.
My father was French. I got the name. I didn't get the language.
Ah, right.
So, right.
So he refused to teach his son French.
So that's why the channel name is called the J Vlog, because of my name, not because of the location.
Ah, this would confuse me and probably countless others everywhere. So you created that before Japan. In fact, you were vlogging before you came to Japan.
That's correct. Yes.
And it was called the J Vlog then, and you had no problems associated with the name at that point.
Right. And because the name fit and the location fit, it all just kind of gelled together.
Ah, this is when you went to Japan. I mean, you were not so successful. You were not so successful in Canada. You know, people thought it's the J Vlog. What? It's Canadian? No, not interested. Clicked away. No.
Well, it was. I guess we would say guilt by association.
Yes. The key word, folks. The key word is guilt. Oh. Vince wants to know if you've ever been to Saskatchewan. Has anybody ever been to Saskatchewan voluntarily?
Yes, I have. We have family in Manitoba, and we visited family in Saskatchewan. I was very, very young at the time, and it was basically
terrifying.
A fishing tour.
All right.
Jesus Christ, the wife has got the allergies. This is only on a live stream, right?
Bless you.
So the it wasn't terrifying, other than the fact that my sister, she went and cast her hook, and it caught me in the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And
never forgiven her.
It's not that I've never forgiven her; it's just that I've never forgot it.
All right.
She caught the biggest fish in the lake.
Memories of Saskatchewan. There you are, Vince. So I mean, where are you from in Canada? Then you went to holiday. You went, you know, if Saskatchewan was an ideal holiday location. It makes me wonder.
It's not an ideal holiday.
It makes me wonder where in Canada you're from. You know,
actually, I'm from Toronto, Canada.
Oh, Toronto. Yes. Oh, right. Yes, I have relatives there. You know,
I very much miss Toronto, but the housing costs and the tax situation is just ridiculous. We knew we had to get out. Right. So it was. It just went through the roof.
All right, Vince is defending Saskatchewan now. There's some fine places. I'm sure there are. Yes, and but Alas is wondering, when did you last go back to Canada?
Well, this session, this time around, we've been in Japan for 4.5 years now.
Oh, right.
So 4.5 years ago was the last time we were in Canada. We were in Bancroft, Ontario, which is 3 hours north of Toronto.
I'm doing a mental image of the map of Canada here, and it's yes.
Okay, you've got Toronto. You've got Toronto as the center, and
Ontario,
to the east is Belleville.
Yes. Good.
Draw a line, 2 lines. You got to think of this You draw 2 lines going northwards, and that will hit Bancroft. Bancroft is the entry point to Algonquin Park.
This has been Simon NoChaNoMa geography lesson. Welcome to
Yes.
There you are. Your question has been thoroughly answered, alas, with even maps and things. So yes,
I can share the map.
Oh God, no. This lo-fi music is like never mind. Dibble's not here, is he? No, I had some jazz lined up, especially for Dibble. But so you left Canada 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago to be precise, to move to Japan. This was not influenced for any reason by wanting to be a popular YouTuber in Japan. It was what was the main reason then for wanting to go?
That is the taboo question.
Oh, right. Okay.
I can answer it, but I can't go into detail.
Yeah, in a roundabout way, because I
So,
just assumed that you wanted to go to Japan because you'd always wanted to be in Japan, kind of thing. Yeah.
No, the first time I was in Japan was in 2007. We'll circle back to that question later. In 2000 to 2007. But we'll circle back. The wife needed medical treatment in her native language. Mm-hmm. She's Japanese, and taking her to the hospital in Canada, it worked, but it wasn't as efficient or effective as, getting medical attention in your native language.
Yes, of course. Yes, it was much more conducive. Yeah. Like
when I go to the hospital and I have to explain the doctor my symptoms and stuff like that, when you can have conversational Japanese proficiency, which is fine, but when it comes to medical and legal issues, even native English speakers have difficulty with that.
Yes. Yeah.
So
too much jazz. What is this? Too much jazz? Sorry to interrupt.
7 out of 10.
10. Oh, it's lo-fi. I can switch it to something else. I've only just discovered this. I'm playing about with it. I've been, informed by JVlog, who knows these things.
Okay, so Alas is asking, can my wife speak English? Yes, she can. But her level of proficiency is not, legal or medical level. So that's the reason why we moved back to Japan.
Wait a minute. Back to you started off in Japan, moved back to Canada, and moved. Hang on, right? I missed a bit here.
No, you got it.
Yeah.
2000 to 2007, we were in Japan. We moved to Canada. We were there for about 10 years ish, maybe 13, and then in 2018 we moved back to Japan.
So let me think. 2007. That's the beginning of YouTube.
Yeah, around there. Yeah,
around there. So were you establishing yourself at that point? I mean, because I've had various J vloggers, the JJ vloggers on who started around about that time. So did you start around about that time? When did you get to Japan and say, hey, here I am, and go around with your Sony Handycam?
Yes and no. At that time, while we were in Canada, and it was YouTube was just budding, and MySpace was the big one. So we did some films for MySpace and that, but MySpace obviously never took off, and I kind of ignored everything until we were a year before 2017, a year before we were moving to Japan. We already knew we had to move. That's when I started prepping for YouTube.
All right, like this was a serious sort of like, you've been, obviously been doing YouTube before that, and as you say, MySpace, but who remembers that? And you consciously decided to carry on. You say you prepped for it. This was like this was something you'd been bitten by the bug, as it were, and you wanted to carry on.
Well, I wanted, and YouTube is killing vloggers right now. That's just the way the algorithm works. I wanted to document everything that we had to go through, the moving, the apartment sourcing, the day-to-day trivialities. And I wanted, and I still do, want to show people what you're going to have to go through if you decide to move to Japan long term. You're not a tourist. This isn't tourist stuff. Go see somebody else if you want to go see Akihabara or whatever. But the day-to-day trivialities of living in Japan long term, that is what I wanted to document and show my family, and this is the easiest way to do it.
Yes, because I mean, yes, I agree in that sense. You can you can film it and then bang it onto YouTube, and they can watch it, and then you don't have to sort of like send them a file and or anything like that. And you have the added advantage, of course, that you can create a channel and lots of other people can watch it, and then things happen. Or not.
Well, that's how we originally got into YouTube. Abo Labarte's in the house.
Hey, yoo-hoo.
Yes.
MLSO.
Well, that's how we originally got into YouTube, and because at one point she was a really good cook, and if you're going to do it, just film it. You might as well film it, and so we make a little bit of money on the side from that, but we're sharing the experience with you guys, and that's what got us the foot in the door to YouTube, was the cooking videos.
Ah, I see. Right. So it wasn't.
And that's back when we were. Yeah. That's back when we were in Canada.
Yeah.
So, and then it just kind of evolved from there.
So unlike a lot of other like J vloggers, there wasn't sort of like a passion from youth about Japan that evolved, and then you wanted to sort of bring that into YouTube and so on, like you say.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely not.
No,
absolutely not. And that's what kind of I don't understand about these other. I'm not going to say J vloggers. I'm going to say vloggers in Japan.
Yeah, J vlog has gone basically as it was. The J vlogging scene has gone. So yeah, I know what you mean.
So vloggers in Japan. It doesn't matter whether you're, the Japanese vloggers or the Western vloggers, or the Korean vloggers and that. They're showing you a slice of life, but their focus is the tourism industry. I see them as glorified ads.
Yes.
Let's take you to Tokyo Disneyland. Okay, it's entertaining, but I didn't learn anything.
Yes, apart from how annoying.
How long the lines are.
Yes. But
so
yes, yeah.
I got to fire back at you.
Oh God!
Why did you move from England to Belgium?
Oh, that's fairly easy. I was given an ultimatum. My girlfriend got bored living in England, in the part of England we were living in, and basically because it was in the middle of a beautiful countryside. We were living in an apartment that was part of a castle with a river and views of hills and everything. Lovely. Not a lot of work available for an educated woman. And she tried and she tried and she said, I'm so bored. I want to go back to Belgium. No social life either. Just me and a castle and scenery, which wears thin after a while. I should imagine. But she said, yeah, I'm going back to Belgium. You can either stay here or come with me. So I didn't have much option really. I'd not previously had a girlfriend. And didn't particularly want to lose this one. And if I went to Belgium, I would keep her. And so I went to Belgium, gave up my job and left and got a job in Belgium working for her parents. And then we got married and had our sons and no longer together. So that's it in a nutshell. That's how I came to Belgium. Not because I had any deep passion for Belgium. I did read about Belgium, when I got this Belgian girlfriend, and I thought, oh, this is interesting. Country with 3 languages and the French speakers and the Dutch speakers at each other's throats. Do I really want to live here? And it turned out all right when I got here. It's very comfortable. Second most industrialized country in the world. Not all that different to living in England. So not a great culture shock or anything,
I see. That's kind of the way I felt about moving back to Japan. Was been there, done that. It's there's no culture shock or anything. It's just a matter of integration and
putting your bins out at the right time in the right place and all that sort of thing.
God, those guys are relentless. Absolutely relentless. If you make one mistake in your garbage, they put a red tag on it and then they send it right back to you. They'll actually open up your garbage to find your address and say, whose is this? And then they'll bring it back and drop it on your door.
Doesn't happen in Belgium, You're gonna come and live here. It's all right.
Well, that Alas was talking. If you could highlight her comment about the job hunting, and it was one of the funniest moments I had when I was job hunting. When I came back to Japan, I applied for a job, and they said, "What do you find the most annoying thing about working for a Japanese company?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said, folding the paper.
Hey, folding the paper?
Yeah.
What?
So we got these flyers, right? I'll just, this is a Google map that I printed out, but it has to be folded precisely, one at a time, because if you fold multiple pages, right?
Oh yeah, it doesn't align,
yes.
It
has to be folded exactly, precisely, one paper at a time, so it fits in the envelope perfectly. And I'm sitting there going, that is the most annoying thing. I'm sitting there folding them as quick as possible, and they're going, "No, you're doing it wrong. It's not lined up. Do it again. All of these are garbage."
Oh dear. Yes, that would get on my tits, as they say. Excuse me, ladies.
Cheers.
But all in all, you're quite happy in Japan. I mean, do you get nostalgic for Canada?
Actually, I don't get nostalgic for Canada per se, but I want to go back for the food in Toronto.
I see.
Toronto.
Japanese food is supposed to be quite good. I mean, the ones I've had is quite good. But I mean, perhaps it can't compare to poutine. I don't know.
Toronto is an international city, and they're on. If you're kind of like I guess a connoisseur type thing, the Italian food is amazing. The Greek food is amazing. The Indian food is amazing. The Chinese food is to die for.
Right.
And we don't get that here. Supermarkets here or whatever here, we do not get that variety consolidated into one area unless you live in Tokyo.
I was going to say, yes, I mean, I've been into supermarkets in Tokyo and, seen quite a lot of different, but I mean, yes, imagine in Sasebo, your average supermarket is not going to have that.
No, we don't. We have one international supermarket here.
Mm-hmm.
And the international portion of it focuses on Korean and Chinese.
I see, yes.
Which I really don't mind, but trying to get authentic Greek tzatziki, forget it. You got to make it yourself. If you move to Japan and you have that taste for your home food, learn to cook. You're gonna need it.
No, I was just thinking. I mean, Nagasaki was one of the more international. It's. I mean, I was doing my research on Nagasaki. That I didn't realize that until the 16th century, it was just a Japanese fishing village, and then the Portuguese turned up and built basically Nagasaki. So it was kind of like European Central in Japan for a long time. So and international in that sense, and has been a port and has lots of the Dutch and the English and all Spanish and everybody. So, but it has not retained that international flavor then.
Okay, so historically speaking, when Japan was closed to the world, Nagasaki was the only port of entry that was allowed. So if you're a Chinese trader, a Korean trader, a European trader, or whatever, you had to go through Nagasaki. And there are good reasons for that, because Nagasaki is one of the most mountainous areas in Kyushu, so it's well protected. Now, as far as the international aspect of it, we're talking about Nagasaki City, which is 2 hours that way.
I see. Right. Yes.
And Sasebo is here. We're actually close. I'm actually closer to Fukuoka than Nagasaki City.
I see.
Sasebo is actually, technically speaking, during World War II, it was one of the targets. They dropped the bomb early, and they hit Nagasaki. It was bound for Sasebo.
I see. Right. Yeah. Because Sasebo was a port. I mean,
yes. It's a military port. It's a military port. So when they said, "Hey, we're going in," this military port that you've seen on some of my streams and that or walkabouts, the ships are always in my bay. They say, "Hey, we're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. Drop it, drop it, drop it." So they hit Nagasaki City instead of Sasebo.
All right. So, yes, I mean, if it had gone to plan, we would never have had the Sasebo burger.
Exactly.
Which is all that I know Sasebo for, really, And I don't know whether it's to do with a taboo topic, but why did you choose Nagasaki to live in? I mean, what way do you want to go? I mean, most people think
that's actually a good question.
Yeah.
That's actually a good question. Okay, so our family is in Saitama, and
your wife, the in-laws,
yes. And when we decided to move from Canada back to Japan, I said, I don't care where we live in Nagasaki, as long as it's within this prefecture. Because Nagasaki is considered the Venice of Japan. There's so many rivers. There's so many lakes. It's oceanside. It's got it all. And if you've ever been to Canada, nice place to visit, really difficult to live. That's the same thing here. That's exactly the same thing here. Nice place to visit. Living day-to-day life is really, really difficult because of the mountains.
Just logistically, it's yeah.
You're going uphill, downhill, uphill, downhill, uphill, downhill. It's exhausting.
Can I just sort of backtrack a bit? I mean, your in-laws lived in Saitama, so the plan originally was to go to Saitama. But what?
We had already been to Saitama. We lived there
right.
from 2000 2007.
I see, right. But what made you choose just because it was the Venice of Japan, or is it?
That's correct.
Yeah. You decided sort of you like pin a donkey on the map, and what's the best place in Japan to live, and you decided Nagasaki.
Well, when we're looking at the pictures, we're looking at the housing costs and stuff like that. We got to consider all of this.
I see. Yeah, just practical terms. Yeah.
So, and Nagasaki was picturesque.
Mm-hmm.
The housing costs were reasonable, and we decided, hey, anywhere in Nagasaki. I chose Nagasaki Prefecture. The wife chose Sasebo City.
Right. I mean, one of the places I considered visiting on my last trip to Japan was, in fact, Nagasaki, and that was predominantly due to the hillside housing in Nagasaki. It just looked so cozy and pleasant. Like a message to you saying that I didn't get that far. I ended up just going to Onomichi in Hiroshima, which was kind of gave me a similar vibe. But you're not living on the hillsides then.
We are on a hillside.
You're on a hillside. You're on one of those
3/4 up a hill.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go 2 blocks up that way, we're at the top of the hill.
Mm-hmm.
And if I go 5 blocks that way, I'm oceanside. So we're tsunami protected.
Yeah.
Because of the bay. But in either direction, like going from the bay to the top of the hill, it's not easy.
Well, no, I mean, I admit that. I mean, I'm from a sort of hilly area in England, but I just like that. I find it very cozy. I don't know. I mean, I find it more cozy than living on a plane. I mean, it's easy living on a plane, but it's so boring. I mean, I like cozy little streets and narrow little streets. When I was in Onomichi, it was like tiny little streets. It amazed me at people that actually got up there and abandoned, bicycles and abandoned mopeds. People had given up halfway or something.
Right. That's the way it is here. I see these Sasebo. One of the, other than the burger, one of the more famous things is the bicycle race. These guys, these Sasebo Keirin, these guys have got thighs of rock. I'm sitting there, I'm going, how the hell do you do that? I can't even walk this, and you're taking a bike up there? Are you serious?
Oh dear. Yeah, so you don't cycle much.
I don't own a bicycle. No, I'm actually looking at an electric scooter. I'm eyeballing electric scooters right now.
I was doing my research. I came across sort of like there's lots of hills in Nagasaki called Orandazaku, and because of the Dutch and anything to do with foreigners, it was Oranda. But on these hills, there's a warning triangle sign, street sign. It has a picture of a bicycle on it with a cross through it. You're not allowed to cycle on these hills because it's too dangerous. It's like,
yeah, you get falling rocks and road debris and stuff like that. The one blessing, like if we end up moving back to Honshu, Saitama. I'm looking forward to it, but the one blessing that Kyushu has is very few earthquakes, almost none.
Oh, right.
There's almost nothing. Alas
it's
is asking.
yeah.
Alas is asking, have I ever seen English cheese racing? I have no idea what that is. Can you explain, Simon?
Have you
I
ever
don't know
seen
what that is.
the cheese? Yes, I know what that is. It's basically it's cheese rolling. I mean, it's racing. It's on a hill somewhere in the south of England. We're a bit mad in south of England. They do this sort of thing, but they get a round cheese, and it's correct me if I'm wrong, alas, but you roll this cheese down a hill. Or various cheeses roll down the hill, and obviously the first one that gets to the end is that correct? Alas, am I correct? I'll have to show this comment because people might be wondering what I'm talking about. Yes.
Okay. I've seen that on YouTube.
They don't have that in Sasebo.
No.
Can't get cheese in Japan very easily, and if they did, they wouldn't want to throw it down the hill.
No. And cheese is stupid expensive here to get a good quality cheese. In Sasebo or Nagasaki, they actually, during the Obon season, I actually filmed this and I had to put a portion of it on Patreon only. I'm sorry, guys. I couldn't share it publicly because there's some stuff in there. But on the 15th of August every year, they have this boat festival. And
that seems fairly harmless, yeah. Yeah.
But it's part of Obon, so they're praying for all the lost ships from the previous year.
All right.
And if you think of a festival, you got the big festivals in Tokyo and stuff like that, and they're carrying the mikoshi, the portable shrines.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but they're boats. Oh, you're already breaking into the wine? I'm not finished my strong.
Right, I've only got 20 minutes left.
I was like, okay, let's crack it.
Oh no! Here comes the NoChaNoMa. Don't forget the straw.
No, I'm not getting a straw. I got a cup ready. I'm prepped. But yeah, and I found that really, really interesting, and I would like to film the entire festival because we just kind of found it by accident. We were on our way back from City Hall, and I had to ask the taxi cab driver. I said, "Hey, what festival is this?"
And your best Nagasaki dialect.
Yes, and he explained it to us, and I had to, when I got home, I looked it up, and I said, wow, that's cool. Cheers, guys.
Oh, cheers. Kanpai.
Kanpai.
There's my glass. There we are. Yes, I've never experienced a festival in Japan. I've always been when it's either just happened or months before it starts. So,
well, the festivals here are really good. We've got 2 coming up here in Nagasaki, which we got a Lantern Festival coming up on it's 2 days only. It's the 23rd and 24th. And then we got the Fireworks Festival coming up next month.
Oh, right.
In September.
And they're still going ahead because I mean, I know in Tokyo, for example, the Sumida Fireworks Festival has been cancelled again because of the sudden surge in COVID. But there's no problem there in Nagasaki with that?
No problem. No problem.
Right.
And the Fireworks Festival is the largest in Kyushu.
Oh, right.
We're expecting last time was 200,000 people in attendance.
Wow.
So because of COVID and they were locked down for 2 years, we're probably expecting 300.
Wow. Yeah. And you're going to go and video that, obviously. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. You know it's going to happen.
Now we have fireworks here, but it's rather modest. And I used to go. It's on the market square. Actually, it'll be happening in a couple of weeks because we have this thing called the Peace Festival. I think last year I did a video about the Peace Festival, which like for hot air balloons going from the market here, and then in the evening they have a firework festival. I just sit in my living room and look out the window, peel back the curtain. Like, oh, there's a firework. Okay, right, seen that, done that. And, I went to see it with the kids when they were little, but it happens every year. But I've seen Japanese ones are much more spectacular. Yeah. So
now, speaking of hot air balloons, one prefecture over from me, from Nagasaki, you just go a little bit north and to the east, Saga Prefecture.
Oh yes, it was Wasabi cars.
Saga.
Yeah.
But the beef there is top notch, stupid boring, but they do have hot air balloons. They launch them all at the same time every year.
Wow.
And
huge amount, imagine.
Several thousand, yeah.
What? Several. It puts my balloon festival like 10, 10 or 20.
No, like you walk down the train station and it's the train station literally is muraled with hot air balloons.
Wow. Oh wow. Oh, you got to go and film that.
I'm probably not going to make it. I'll probably have somebody else film it for me.
Oh right, you're one of those YouTubers who has assistants.
No, it's not. We don't call them assistants. We call them friends.
Oh, we call them friends. Yes, who edit for you and do all that.
No, I do all my own editing. That's not fair. Not fair. But yeah, because like, I have somebody I know in Saga. I have somebody I know in Oita.
Mm.
If I say, this event is coming up, can you, shoot some footage?
Mm.
Usually they're
not put it on your channel, but give it to me. Yes.
No, they'll put it on their channel,
Yeah.
but I'll promote it. I'll promote it on mine.
I see. Right. Yeah. So it's not that they shoot it and then they're not like cameramen for you or camera operators. No. So you're sort of you're a YouTuber by proxy, as it were.
Exactly.
Yes, it's the ultimate collaboration sort of. Yeah, just like Tokyo Drew setup. I remember. Yes. Oh, I was going to get to that. I was going to go.
Actually, the last time he and I were together, he got wrecked.
It does have a tendency to do that. I mean, I'm doing very well here. I mean, when I met him in the hub, I only had one beer and a gin and tonic, and I was out of it.
Well, we had 7 beers.
Oh God.
2 chew highs, and then he was floored.
Mm.
I went back to the hotel and tanked another 3 chew highs.
Oh dear. No, I don't think No. I mean, I give this impression. I mean, this is it. Saturday or Sunday. I mean, this is the only time you will see me like this. And then I mean, good grief, no. I mean, yes, he was fairly sober when he was on the show. Although no, actually, Canadian YouTubers and alcohol on my show, it's always been like Aussie 78. We had a drinking game. Tokyo Drew, we had a drinking game, and now J vlog. We're not having a game, but we're just drinking. Oh dear. Alas says, are either of us ever likely to move back to the country we were born in? It's a good question, actually. Possibly, if I retire. When I've retired, and my children are fully sort of independent, and well, they are fully independent now. But I mean, you know. But I would tend to want to stay here until I felt that they could, you know, do without me. How about you?
Well, essentially, no.
You'd
No.
be quite happy to just have nostalgic memories of Japan and visit Canada and visit now and again.
Well, because of the COVID situation and the way the Canadian government is handling it, I can't enter Canada. I can't go back. I would like to visit family. I would like to, you know, fly back once in a while. And, you know, just sample the foods and just do my rounds, you know, hit this restaurant, hit that restaurant, hit that restaurant, hit that restaurant. There was a nice Chinese dim sum restaurant that I used to visit every Sunday. And I would love to go back, but I can't because of the situation that's happening right now.
I'm not familiar with the situation. I mean, in Europe here, it's all relaxed. You can just basically, nobody wears masks and you can go anywhere. It's basically back to where it was. I mean, I've had it. My friends have had it. Everybody's had it. Some people keep getting it, but I mean, it's no big deal anymore, really. So, what's happening in Canada that's stopping you going back? What are the? I mean,
Vax passport.
You got to. Right.
You need the Vax passport. Yes.
And but have you not been vaccinated?
Nope.
No. Right. I see.
Nope.
Yes,
I've got the papers. The papers are still sitting here. I've not been vaccinated, but even if I were to be vaccinated, I don't have that North American Vax pass.
Oh. It's because it's Japanese, they don't recognize it or something, or what?
No, it's just a different... It's just a different paper format. You know, it's a different requirement. You got to get your PCR tests and stuff like that. 72 hours. And that's a contention. Contention? Is that the right word?
It's contentious.
With me? Contentious? With me? Because the Japanese business people, they'll get their PCR test, and the PCR test is good for 72 hours. So they'll fly to South Korea and then fly back.
Yeah. Within
those 72 hours. And Simon, you're frozen. Oh, you're okay.
No, it's just me, like zombied.
So they'll fly to South Korea and then they'll fly back. They'll fly to Hong Kong and then they'll fly back within those 72 hours. And technically speaking, that means nothing, you know, even though you got your PCR test.
Yes, I mean, yeah, you could still be sort of like spreading germs as you move. Yeah. So basically, it's the all those logistical and administrative, you know, barriers that are stopping you, you know, from going.
I would love to visit, and I'm going to tell you guys, this is the first time I've admitted this on a live stream. I would love my family to come and visit. Yes,
you can't get into Japan, can you? Really? I mean, on just a tourist visa. Yeah.
Okay, my sister goes to Amsterdam, and my brother goes to Saudi Arabia, the UAE, every single year. Every year. They've never come to visit. Why? Like, this is my family. Why haven't they come to visit? And this is my contention with family. You can choose your friends. You can't choose your family.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest, my sister has not come to visit me. I mean, my parents come every year. I mean, pre-COVID and now post-COVID, they're coming again in October. But you know, my sister, I think, came for my children's christenings, and that was about it. So it's been quite a while. I mean, my children are now adults, so. But I mean, obviously she sees me every time I go back to England. But there's no real motivation on her part to come and see me in Belgium. There's nothing in Belgium wanting it, So, I mean, I don't know.
Oh, come on. Seriously? There's got to be something in Belgium. Like, if I were to fly to Belgium, where would you take me? What would you show me?
Oh, well, I mean, I would show you Brussels. I would show you, like, Bruges, Brussels, Antwerp. I was going to say Amsterdam. You could go to Amsterdam. It's not that far. Antwerp, Ghent. There's all sorts of, and then the Ardennes. So there's plenty of things to see and do. Yes. Mm.
So when I'm talking about family, and you can see on the chat there, it just lit up. When I'm talking about family, and if the family were to come here to Sasebo, I can take them bang, 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 bang. I can take them to all these places. And it's the same thing, but they don't come. And Simon, if your family came to visit you, the exact same thing. You can take them to these places. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah. And they would have a good time. Yeah. I suppose, yes, it's just, there's this thing between family, your family, your blood, and you kind of know you sort of like related and get along and everything's all right. But the level of interest between, is kind of...
Right? Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I don't want this to turn into a family rant. You have another
3 minutes
question.
Not to rant. Yeah.
You have another question for me about Nagasaki and living in Japan.
Do I? Oh Christ, I've forgotten. Remind me.
I don't know.
Do my job for me.
Okay, so let's turn the tables. England versus Belgium, food-wise. Food-wise. Now,
it's a
everybody says that the food in England absolutely sucks.
Well, I mean, I would at the risk of offending a lass, I would tend to agree. I mean, okay, Sunday roast, like roast beef, mashed potatoes, carrots, peas, vegetables, and Yorkshire pudding. Back in the day, I thought that was the bee's knees. But beyond that, I mean, there are Michelin star restaurants and Nouvelle Cuisine and all that business in England. But I mean, England is more famous for like Indian food and stuff. You can get a really great curry in England, mainly because of the sort of population mix, which you don't get here in Belgium. You've got. I mean, I did a show like Simon Eats, I called it, and I had Belgian food. And I was hard pressed to find recipes and things to eat in Belgium that would tickle people's fancy. It's like, God, it looks... Stump is what they have here. Stump, and it's a Belgian delicacy, which is basically mashed potatoes with mashed vegetables in it. Yeah, great, lovely, God. And what is it? Parling in het groen, which is like jellied eels. It's like eels in the green slop of soup. It's like, lovely. No. So there's not much competition between Belgium and England in terms of native food. But they have fantastic sort of foreign food. like you say in Canada, you there's this fantastic Greek, fantastic Italian, fantastic, okay, now Canadian food, non native,
Non-existent.
yes,
Non-existent.
basically, it's the same thing, baked beans on toast, yes. Or when I was little, I used to have can I have the beans off the toast, please? Because I didn't like the toast going soggy because of the baked beans. But yeah, I mean, Belgium wins out slightly on England because they put a bit more effort into their culinary. They're more Burgundian. They like their food a little bit more than England. England is more practical. You go down for dinner in England at a restaurant and you expect to be served within like 10, 15, 20 minutes. And you eat it within 10, 15, 20 minutes, and you have 10, 15, 20 minutes of after dinner, and then you go. In Belgium, you go there, and that's your evening. Your entire evening is spent at the dinner table. So I mean, they're more into food. So Belgium wins slightly on that level in terms of preference for food.
Okay, I went to Peppo. You said for Canadian food, poutine. Fries, gravy, and cheese. It's actually really good. It's really good, but I can make that at home here. Fries, gravy, and cheese. Like living in Japan, your home foods, the things that you do crave, you're going to have to make them yourself. You're going to have to learn how to cook.
Or make Marmite sandwiches.
Yes. If you can get Marmite.
It's I was once able to get Marmite in Belgium. Like you're saying about the sort of international supermarket, there was a supermarket here that had a sort of international section, and it was like all the foods from the east, and then a tiny section with like British stuff. It's like, like 3 things from Britain, and one of which was Marmite. So.
Okay, Vids. I loved being in the USA for food. Fast food is amazing. If and when you get to Japan, the fast food here is absolutely amazing. Like we're talking a level up from North America. Just there's no way that North America can compete with Japan on fast food.
In the same like franchises, you mean, or in Japanese franchises compared to American franchises? I mean, both. Oh, right. I mean, I've had Japanese McDonald's and I couldn't tell the difference, really. I mean,
well, one of the videos that I did, it wasn't the last video, but you highlighted it in your kind of showcase. There were no fingerprints on the buns from McDonald's.
I'm confused.
You highlighted one of my videos, and I'm eating a cheeseburger.
Oh yes, that's right.
There were no fingerprints on the buns.
So I mean, in terms of quality control,
no. When we're talking about the preparation, we're assembling the burger, and sometimes you press down. These guys are pressing on the side.
So it's technique.
Right.
Technique.
Yes.
Yeah. I see.
It's a level up from North America.
North
America is just slap it together and get it done.
Mr. Krabs, yes. Yeah. SpongeBob level.
Okay, next question for you.
Right, this will be the
You're
final question of the
driving-
evening.
You're transferring your driver's license from England to Belgium.
Yes. What about it?
Explain.
Well, basically, I had a 1989. I got my driving license in England in 1989, and it was a paper one, and it was in my wallet and falling to bits. And had several occasions where I had to present it to the police, and they like there was a frown on them, and by accident, purely by accident, at work, I hit a mirror of a post office van with the mirror of my van while doing work delivery, and never having done that before, and not realizing that I'd done that, I did stop and I did get out of the van, but couldn't see what I'd hit, and didn't know the procedure. The procedure was that you're supposed to wait, and if not, then call the police. But I didn't. I thought, there's no damage to my mirror. Mustn't have been all that bad. Nobody's come to get me. I shall carry on. Wrong move. Like, day later, police turn up at work, which is, I wasn't there at the time, and say, we've had a report, blah, blah, blah. Oh, big problem. They, up until that point, I'd been driving for 20 years or more with a British driving license, and discovered that I was being then called in, for this, breaking of the law, and I had to have a Belgian driving license in order to hand in said Belgian driving license. Oh shit, I don't have a Belgian driving license, and further investigation revealed that I'd been driving 20 years not kosher, because you can only drive for about a year on your English driving license, and then you have to transfer it. So, better do that. So that's what I did. I then applied for a Belgian driving license, and ironically, one of the penalties for breaking this mirror was 10 days without your license. You can't drive. But ironically, by handing in my driving license to have it exchanged for a Belgian license, I was like 2 months unable to drive. So I'm still waiting for the 10 days to come. I'm still waiting for an envelope from the police court to say, so please hand in your driving license. But they've got a backlog, COVID and all and everything. So at some point I shall get this and have to cycle to work again. But yes, basically you can't use your British driving license for more than a year when you're living in Belgium. I discovered I'd been using it for nearly 25 years, and fortunately not had anything happen until that point. And this was a learning experience. So whatever you do.
Well, one of the things about living here in Japan, especially with the e-bikes and e-cycles and stuff like that, the driver's license here are graded. So it's 50cc and under, and then 750cc. So you got the small, medium, and large bikes.
Yeah.
And now that we're moving to e-bikes, like, where does that classification come into play?
Yes, the no CC. It'll be just power level.
Yeah, it's a matter of
voltage.
How fast can it go. So 40 kilometers is this category. They still haven't sussed it out yet, but I'm looking at a bike, but I don't know what driver's license classification it's going to fit into.
I see. This is what you said you were going to get an e-bike, but it's not like a moped. It's going to be like a bicycle, but an electric bicycle, or is it going to be an electric moped?
Oh, it's going to be a motorcycle.
Oh right, electric, yeah, it's like moped thing, yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to have lots of like connection points because if you're unless you've already moved to the flat bit in Saitama, but otherwise, I can imagine you sort of like, getting uphill.
I'm grinding up the hills and it's going.
And then you have to charge it every half an hour just to get home.
Yeah, right. Well, no, to get there is, no problem. I can turn off the battery and just, coast downhill. But when it comes to this is all new technology for us, and it's the same across the world. I think that the classifications, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be based on top speed. I don't know. The other thing of concern for me is, getting from point A to point B.
Well, that's the general purpose of travel. Yes.
We had this discussion at City Hall.
What?
This is actually a deep discussion. This is actually a deep dive. And
you want the e-bike to go from A to B.
You're getting it here only on Simon's channel. We were at City Hall, and I said, in order for us to get to you, it's going to cost us $25. And they said, yeah, €25, $25. And then to get home is going to be another $25. And you want us to do this every single day? And I'm sitting there going, dude, man, who's paying for this? Are you paying for this? Are you paying for this? And I'm sitting there going, no. You want us, this is mandatory from City Hall, and this is from the prefectural government, and they're sitting there going, wait, we have this appointment. And I'm sitting there, fine, you pay for it. And this is part of the day-to-day life living in Japan. You're gonna have to deal with this bureaucracy.
Well, there's a certain amount of level of bureaucracy in Belgium, but not to the degree that you have there. Yes, one of the things I've noticed over my years of watching vlogs, Japan vlogs, is people come up against prefectural and city hall paperwork and stamping things and three copies of this. God, yes,
dude. Okay, City Hall is they've got these different booths. And this booth does, say, taxation. This booth does healthcare. This booth does whatever. And we have to go from this booth to 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 this booth. We hit 6 in one day. In one day. This was just on Monday the 15th.
Yeah.
Monday the 15th. We hit 6 booths. And
with a waiting line and a ticket.
Yes, yeah. That's right. That's right. You get your ticket. But thankfully, we had the prefectural government, on our back, and we also had the City Hall guys, so we got fast tracked, and it was just like bang, 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 bang. But dude, why can't we just work with one booth and that one guy goes to the other ones? Why do we have to take the elevator and go over here and do this? And oh my God, it's just fucking mind numbing. Sorry about the cussing.
So this is what you want to experience. I mean, this is the other side of Japan. I mean, for me, if you're going as a tourist, you don't have to endure any of this. I'm not going to endure any of this when I go next time. But when will the next time be? I mean, I was watching a video recently, and they were explaining quite clearly what it is that is preventing tourists from getting to Japan. And it's nothing to do with it's nothing to do with the logistics of it. It's to do with the collapsing Japanese hospital system, apparently. The reluctance of the Japanese government to let people in is all to do with the financing Japanese hospitals or something like that. It was all very clear when it was explained to me, and basically, the long story short, nobody's going to get into Japan as an individual tourist until this matter is cleared up, which means it's going to take quite a long time. So anybody who's booked for Japan this year, forget it. Anybody who's booked for Japan early next year, chances are slim. That's all I have to say on the matter.
Okay, Alas is asking, doesn't Japan like doing things online? Excellent question. No.
No. Not unless you can fax them one.
No. That is slowly changing because they want your Henkel, your name stamp on it.
For confirmation, yes. Yeah.
So they do accept signatures, but if you don't, hang on, do I have mine?
You would have thought they'd come up with a digital Hanko. Excuse me, everybody. I'm just going to turn off the background rock music because it's doing my head in.
Okay, so your Hanko is your name stamp, and you have to register this with City Hall. Okay, for all official documents. So when I sign an official document, I have to place it on there. This is my signature. This is, technically speaking, in old terms, my blood.
Mm. Yeah, you cut your thumb and you put your mark on it.
That's right. That's right. And
bit difficult.
Japan is slowly moving away from that, but they haven't completely moved away from it. So, until we get into the total digital documents, signatures are okay if you don't have a Hanko. If you have a Hanko, it is, or a name stamp, it is a little bit more secure and stronger. It's a stronger value.
That's an interesting point from Alas there. I didn't realize that also, that I mean, here it's happening as well, and I noticed also in Japan when I was there 4 years ago that you could do things all practically digitally, with your phone and your Suica card. And here also, I've not been to the bank for the past 3 years nearly. I just do everything on my phone. But she says that everything in the UK is going digital and cash free. Lots of places won't accept cash. But in Japan also I noticed that yes, I had to wander around. Like nobody saw it because it was like tucked into my underpants. like hundreds of thousands of yen tucked into my underpants in a so I could go anywhere and be prepared to pay for things in cash, because not everywhere is ready to accept pay by phone and stuff. So yes, I like the choice, the availability of choice. But I've not paid by cash. Also in paying by cash in Belgium. I've got my wallet in my pocket here, and it's got cash in it from a year ago.
Well, that was the same thing in Canada. That was the same thing in Canada. We never carried cash. We just had the debit card. And when we went shopping, we, debit card, bank, straight from, the ATM. It took it straight from the bank. Here in Japan, it's getting there. Not like we're talking 20 years. The Japan cashless society, it's taking so long.
Oh, that's interesting from Peppo, who's saying cash is a legitimate form of payment. So I asked myself, is it legal that they don't accept cash? I find, yes, that's an interesting question. That I mean, whether it's legal or not, I don't know. To refuse to be, you want to buy something but you can't because they won't take your money, but the money is legal tender. It's bizarre. It's rather bizarre.
Yeah, that is an interesting question. Here in Japan, cash is king. If you don't have the cash on you, don't expect to get very far.
This is why I had thousands of yen in my underpants, so to speak.
Yeah, walking down the street with $3,000 in your pocket and sitting there going, I'm kind of nervous about this.
It's all right. It's Japan. They won't. They don't know I've got $3,000 in my underpants. They'll be all right. Everybody that I paid for, got very warm notes.
I went to 7-Eleven and I had to pay with a 5,000 yen note, 50 euros, and it was all crumpled up because it was given to me by a taxi driver. 7-Eleven wouldn't accept it because it was all crumpled up.
Oh God.
The machine wouldn't read it.
Oh, right, yeah.
I was sitting there going, what? Are you fucking serious? Sorry for the cussing. But the machine wouldn't read it, so I had to go to the manager and say, exchange this for a fresh bill. And then the machine will read it.
God. I thought you were going to ask, say, for an iron.
I don't have time. I'm at 7-Eleven. I got my basket full.
Oh, dear. Well, there you are. If you want to know more about the trials and tribulations of living in Japan, I did put the link in the description to JP's or the J-Vlogs channel. And J-Vlog has nothing to do with being in Japan, although the name. But coincidentally, he does live in Japan, in a part of Japan that is not Tokyo and is not often visited by all the trendy young people who like to talk about Japan. So, if you want to know more about sort of the in-depth side of Japan, click on that link in the description and go and visit his channel. How often do you upload?
When I have free time. I don't have a regular schedule.
Okay, so it's potluck. Potluck with the J-Vlog. But for me, next week, I shall be here, possibly with better apps. I don't know. Just knowing me, it'll be the same old thing. I'll have to give my computer a kick, or I'll have to hoover it or something to make it work better. I have, for those interested, I have contacted the Sake sisters, Sake Tren, Todd Eng, and UFO Bob, and they're all up for doing another sake party from California. But the Sake sisters are not free until October, so it could be October. So next week, It's me again. And if I find a guest between now and next week,
Alas, more alcohol.
more alcohol. It just could be me blabbering on hashtag. Thank you, Kimberly.
Speaking of which, I gotta run to the toilet.
Well, there we are. There's a good reason for ending the show is going to the John. All right. Okay. Thank you everybody for watching. Say goodbye, JP. And goodbye, everybody, and see you all again next week. And imagine toilet noises as we end. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Good stream.